Good afternoon. Prince Albert's mobile hygiene hub is back on the streets. The city says the hub has seen almost 30 users daily since it opened 2 weeks ago. The city's community safety and well-being coordinator expects the numbers to go up over the next few months. Last fall, the hygiene hub helped more than 50 people each day. The service is operated through a partnership with the Prince Albert Métis Women's Association.
We just make sure, people need references to different services and to make sure to get them those services, and we give them drinks, sandwiches. We make sure that they're doing well mentally and physically.
The hygiene hub first opened last summer. The emergency leader of a northern Saskatchewan First Nation at the center of a massive wildfire last summer says the government's new wildfire mitigation grant doesn't go far enough. The Fire Smart grant aims to help communities reduce wildfire risk. Wadden Bay will be the first community to receive funding with a retroactive $40,000 grant for fire mitigation work that's already completed. Candace Paul, the emergency coordinator for English River First Nation, says $40,000 is a drop in the bucket for what needs to be done to prevent future wildfires.
$40,000 is nothing. It wouldn't even get us started.
The Fire Smart grant is part of the government's response to an independent review that found shortfalls in its wildfire response. Speaking to reporters from a trade mission in Paris yesterday, Premier Scott Moe said the grant will help northern communities better prepare for future wildfires and pointed to Wadden Bay as an example of its success. A close call on the South Saskatchewan River last night in Saskatoon as calls came in about a boat in trouble on the water. Callers to 911 reported a Zodiac boat with 2 people being carried downriver from the University Bridge toward the weir. Water flow rates are 4 times what they normally are as water was released last week from the Gardner Dam. The fire department's water rescue boat went in person to help. The person driving the boat was told to put the anchor into the water to slow down their momentum as they headed downriver. The driver was then able to restart the outward engine. The rescue boat accompanied the Zodiac to the launch, and the occupants of the craft were briefed about the dangers of being on the river with such high water levels.
We usually remind them that it's been advised to stay off the river, not a good idea. Maybe they weren't aware of the flow rates. We kind of try and do a little bit of education with them, for sure.
The battalion chief said the water levels peaked Saturday and are showing signs of going down, which is expected to happen gradually over the next few days. The Northern Tornadoes Project has confirmed 3 additional tornadoes in Saskatchewan this month. 2 of them touched down in the areas east of Oxbow on June 7th, possibly within 10 minutes of each other. The first was near Glen Ewan, damaging the roof of a home and turning over a trailer. The second was near Cardiff, which destroyed an outbuilding. Both have been given a rating of EF1 with estimated max wind speeds of 140 and 145 kilometers per hour. A third separate tornado also confirmed in the LaPorte area southwest of Kindersley. That one has been given a default rating of EF0 with no visible damage found. Saskatchewan's total number of tornadoes for 2026 so far is now at 6. It comes as the Co-op food store in Oxbow hit by a storm on June 7th, reopened. The store closed due to damages sustained in the Northern Tornadoes Project. Suspects a downburst is behind the damages to the building's roof, rated as an EF0 with an estimated max wind speed of 130 kilometers per hour. That also damaged a barn and several trees in the area. Well, a rainy day today in Prince Albert and in Saskatoon, a few showers here and there.
Exactly. It's sort of in the area. We can certainly take a look at our satellite and radar shot here, and you get an indication of where this active weather is moving from Alberta right through Saskatchewan down into southwestern Manitoba and parts of the Great Plains states. But really, some areas really dealing with a lot more in the way of intensity, Chantal. Certainly in our area, the potential for some thunderstorms is there, and we'll talk about that later on.
Staff at Saskatchewan Penitentiary have made another significant seizure. The Correctional Service of Canada says on June 5th, 9th, and 11th, packages containing contraband and unauthorized items were found at the Prince Albert prison. The CSC says the packages were filled with meth, THC concentrate, and cocaine with an estimated value of $127,000. It credits tools like scanners and drug detecting dogs for its work in preventing illegal items from getting into the facility. An inmate serving time for weapons offenses was released by mistake. The province says 30-year-old Brednor Wapistikwan was freed from custody on May 28th as a result of an administrative error. He was supposed to be behind bars until his next scheduled court date, scheduled for July 14th. He has a tattoo of a bottle on his right arm and a heart tattoo on his right hand. The province says he has ties with the community of Big Island Cree Nation. If you see Brednor Wapistikwan, you are advised not to approach him and instead call police. RCMP have charged 2 men with human trafficking. Last November, RCMP received a report of potential human trafficking at a trucking business in the RM of Edenwald near Regina. RCMP say their investigation determined an employee had to pay a large sum of money to be employed with the company and obtain permanent residency status. Drivers also reported they were forced to drive with unsafe loads and work long hours without compensation. The 36 and 50-year-old men are facing human trafficking offenses. It's been 2 years since a Saskatoon man was killed in a Saskatoon park, and police are renewing calls for anyone with information to come forward. 66-year-old Harvey Zorb was found badly beaten in the early morning hours of June 12, 2024. Saskatoon police say he lived at a care home in the area and had gone for a routine walk to 7-Eleven to pick up a fountain drink. On his way back through Sears Park, police say he was the victim of an unprovoked attack and left for dead. Police say there are no new leads at this time, but say they are looking at new technology and have hope that the case will be solved.
You know, a crime of this magnitude and violence, you'd hope someone has a guilty conscience and has seen something or has heard something and wants to come forward. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened yet, but we obviously still hold on hope.
Police are asking anyone with information on this case to come forward. Tips can be reported anonymously through Saskatoon Crime Stoppers. 2 people have been charged following a stabbing that left a man with serious injuries. On November 23rd, police were called to the 300 block of 20th Street West in Saskatoon, where a 37-year-old man was found injured outside a business. His injuries were serious but not life-threatening. Investigators determined the assault happened on Avenue D South. A 54-year-old man was arrested on May 22nd. A 34-year-old man was arrested yesterday. Both are charged with aggravated assaults. A garage went up in flames this morning in Saskatoon. Firefighters arrived just before 6:30 to the 2500 block of Preston Avenue, where a garage was engulfed in flames. No one was injured, but the garage and its contents sustained significant damage. An investigator will try to determine how and where the fire started, as well as a damage estimate. A Saskatoon man's social media page has become the source of a new walking tour in the city. Mike Degou's hobby of taking pictures of beavers along the river quickly gained a following after he started sharing the images on social media. Now, with more than 15,000 followers, he has partnered with Meewasin to host weekly walking tours. The tours will showcase some of the beaver lodges in the city and share how the animals have impacted the landscape in Saskatoon.
The fact that my beaver hobby puts eyes on what I'm doing and brings joy to people makes me feel great. I get a lot of messages from people saying, we love your page. A lot of seniors will write me and say, this is great, I can't get out to the river, and your page makes it feel like I'm there.
The weekly walking tour is hosted every Monday night, and tickets are available on the Meewasin Valley Authority's website. Still to come, Saskatchewan puts its wind to work. A look at a powerful plan as a result of a new partnership. Another major project is blowing in the wind in southern Saskatchewan. Wayne Mantika now on a major project that will bring a couple of firsts for our province.
The wind was blowing at a sod turning for what will be Saskatchewan's largest wind farm.
think we have one of the most diversified power grids in the entire country. That's through design, and that very much is what we had at the center of the energy security strategy, that all of the above approach.
It may also be the first wind farm on Hutterite Colony land.
This is a 30, 40-year term, and it's got to be good. And we are basically all for it.
The wind farm will be a joint venture between the Rose Valley Hutterite Colony, the Meadow Lake Tribal Council, and energy supplier Potentia.
We have our Southern Springs Solar Project, which we're also building, majority owned by the M Squared partnership of Mistawasis and Meadow Lake Tribal Council. But that's probably about a year behind Rose Valley.
About 24 turbines will supply 200 megawatts of electricity. Combined with the recent 100 megawatt solar power generating facility at Estevan, it offers the equivalent of a large conventional coal unit at Boundary Dam.
We all need power, indeed. Yes, we do.
About 1/3 of Sask Power energy will now come from renewables, but fossil fuel-driven electricity will still be required for days when the wind doesn't blow or the sun doesn't shine. Alberta has had virtually no wind for 3 days now, and Sask Power has been supplying electricity to make up for some of that shortfall. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, near Assiniboia.
Still to come, the Saskatoon Mamba settle into their new home. How the team performed at its first game at Merlis Belcher Place. Well, a rainy and gray day for much of the central area of the province, Jeff.
That's certainly the case, and not a surprise, Chantel. And in fact, rain by itself probably not such a bad thing, because some places we haven't had any reports yet, but I won't be surprised if there is some reports of hail. We do have some really intense active weather. We had anticipated this making its way from Alberta into southwestern Saskatchewan. So there's a trough line, or rather a cold front sliding southward, and it is really sparking up a lot of storm activity right now. We can tell there's a Montana low, and then there's a high off the west coast, and those two things taken together are really creating some of this sort of a northerly flow, so some colder temperatures, and those cooler than average temperatures are going to stick around. That Montana low is eventually going to make its way out into Ontario and other parts of central Canada, Quebec eventually, and ultimately Atlantic Canada, and it is going to strengthen as it makes its way eastward, and it's going to be quite a messy situation out there. And speaking of messy situations, things could get very dicey down the Gulf states as well, but we'll talk about that maybe later on. For now, let's take a look at our 24-hour futurecast. As you can see, that active weather continues to sort of cycle around right across the prairie provinces, so we're certainly not out of the woods yet when it comes to this inclement weather. So here we go. We've got ourselves 8 degrees with some showers overnight in Spiritwood, 9 for the Battlefords with a risk of thunderstorm activity. Partly cloudy conditions expected in Candle Lake, Birch Hills, and Roston. There's a possibility of some showers in all 3 locations, but we don't anticipate a big downpour. 8 degrees in Candle Lake and Birch Hills and Rosthern, the same temperature for Melfort, and 9 degrees under clear skies. That is the forecast for Nipawin. Then we roll into tomorrow, where clouds will rule the day. Mainly cloudy conditions in the Battlefords, 18. Possibility of some showers in Spiritwood, 16 degrees, but cloudy and 17 in Candle Lake, Birch Hills, and Rosthern, 16 in Nipawin and Melfort, and cloudy conditions. And as I mentioned earlier on, these temperatures are, quite frankly, way below seasonal. Typically, we should be around 21, 22 degrees. So, yeah, this is cool. Taking a look at tomorrow overnight for Prince Albert and area, about a 30% chance of showers. Then the showers taper off, and we're looking at partly cloudy skies, 9 degrees. The winds out of the start off light, but overnight, let's say around 3 in the morning, it starts to pick up a little bit, but still light-ish winds out of the north at 15. And then we roll into tomorrow, winds out of the north at 20, gusting to 40. So a bit of a breezy day tomorrow. 17 the expected high, so again about 5 degrees below seasonal with cloudy skies for the Gateway City. And then on Thursday, 18 degrees, 19 on Friday, 20 on Saturday. That increase drops off. Sunday we're looking at a 60% chance of showers and a high of 17 degrees, 18 on Monday, and that comes with a 40% chance of showers and 21 degrees on Tuesday. So getting closer. Not exactly there yet, but closer to seasonal values 1 week from today.
We'll get there, I'm sure.
I'm sure we will.
All right, thanks, Jeff. The Saskatoon Mamba won their first game at Merlis Belcher Place last night in dramatic fashion.
Calls down, gets inside, Townsend wins it! Mamba! Holy moly!
Trade Townsend scored the winner in last night's thrilling contest against Ottawa to help Saskatoon beat the Blackjacks 96-94. The winning basket came after the Mamba batted back from a 9-point deficit heading into target score time. After a slow start, the Mamba have now won 4 of their last 5 games. The team will play their next 2 games on the road this weekend before returning to SaskTel Centre to face the Edmonton Stingers on June 24th. Of the more than 23,000 players to appear in at least one Major League Baseball game, less than 1% have been from our province. But a prospect from southeastern Saskatchewan is taking the next step in his journey toward professional baseball. Donovan Mace has more.
Growing up in Cardiff, Saskatchewan, you could find Carter Beck with either a hockey stick or a baseball bat in hand at any given time.
First started playing organized baseball when I think I was 5 or 6. When I was that age, I probably started bat boying for my dad already on his senior baseball team.
Passionate about both sports, baseball is ultimately the love he's stayed with. And now that path could take him to the sport's highest level.
End of the spring last season, and they're coaching the exit meeting. I'm talking to him, whatever, and those exit meetings are short and quick. And he goes like, yeah, well, like if you don't get drafted next year, we'll have a problem.
Coming off his junior year at Indiana State, Beck is now preparing for the Major League Baseball draft.
That one's going to be gone. A grand slam walk-off home run by Carter Beck.
Beck spending the past 2 summers with the Saskatoon Berries, where head coach Joe Carnahan describes the prospect as someone who has worked for everything he's earned.
He was working construction, and he'd show up for early work at noon or 1 o'clock still in steel-toe boots, and he'd get out there, get his reps in the outfield.
Only 24 Sask-born players have been selected in the MLB draft, but even more rare is making it to the majors, as just 9 ball players from the province have played a major league game.
He has a relentless work ethic, and his mindset is he has goals, and he's going to do everything in his power to achieve those goals, and so far he has.
Puts a charge into this one. Center fielder watches it fly away.
Yet Beck knows he's still a long way from putting on an MLB uniform.
It's still a dream anymore, but it's more of a goal now, which is crazy to say. But like in 2, 3, 4 years, hopefully that's my reality.
First up for Beck is the draft combine set for this weekend, while the MLB amateur draft begins July 11th in Philadelphia. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
A hockey tradition in Canada is coming to an end. After 75 years on the air, Hockey Night in Canada will no longer appear on the CBC.
And they're going to clinch it appropriately with a total team effort.
An agreement between Rogers and CBC that allowed Hockey Night to air on the public broadcaster expired at the end of playoffs. CBC first aired Hockey Night in Canada in 1952 and will retain the Hockey Night brand. Sportsnet, which is owned by Rogers, says it will keep airing NHL games on Saturdays, calling it a time-honored tradition for Canadians.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
Saskatchewan tech startups, healthcare administration, and government officials gathered today with a goal of navigating healthcare innovations to help keep the system moving forward. Utilizing homegrown technology and taking abstract ideas to real-life settings was just part of a 2-hour conversation at the University of Saskatchewan today. Health Minister Jeremy Cockrell was part of a panel engaging with tech founders to better understand barriers and how to implement this wave of technology that's being built here but but is rolling out in places like Toronto or the U.S. Health tech companies have a lot more regulatory hurdles to clear than a typical startup to ensure patient data doesn't end up in the wrong hands. But he says that shouldn't stop the innovative ideas happening here and that the health ministry is always available.
There's a real opportunity for us, I think, to really engage more directly and deeply with the innovators that we have in our own province and figure out how we work together. And, Saskatchewan-made products, we should be using them right here in our province and figuring that out.
The province has issued an RFP for vendors to provide virtual health care. Cockrell says this technology will allow more people to have access to a primary care provider, especially for remote and northern communities. A Saskatchewan Conservative MP has introduced new legislation that could allow psilocybin to be used in some medical cases. Put forward by Saskatoon University MP Corey Tucker, the Conservatives are proposing a bill that would allow doctors to prescribe and facilitate psilocybin-assisted therapy. Currently, doctors have to apply through a special access program. The treatment is primarily targeted at mental health conditions, including addiction, depression, and PTSD. It would not legalize the psychedelic for recreational use. Psilocybin is one of the active ingredients in magic mushrooms that causes hallucination.
This bill, when it passes, we will have the ability for physicians to prescribe psilocybin to their patients if they deem necessary, which we all know we need to look at new and innovative ways of treating the epidemic that is on our streets. And I know Canadians are demanding that we move on this.
The bill will now go to second reading in the House of Commons. Health Canada says while clinic trials with medical psilocybin use have been promising, there are not currently any approved therapeutic products containing psilocybin in Canada or elsewhere. All right, Jeff, as we know, robots are being enlisted for many areas. Now you can add sales to that list. This is in Beijing. The humanoid robot salesman was trying to get shoppers to buy one of 12 different mystery boxes that are so popular with young people these days. Shoppers reported the process as being fast, seamless, and futuristic. So a little bit of sales help there.
A little bit.
We'll see you at 6. Thanks for watching.